Yeah, hello. My name is Sisi Iklunati, and I am responsible for the project management of the Interreg Europe project dialogue within the Lower Saxon Ministry for Federal and European Affairs and Regional Development. And with me today is my colleague, Dr. Kirsten Meyer, who luckily agreed to do this interview with us. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi.
Kirsten is currently the head of our Interreg unit, but maybe you can quickly introduce yourself and your fields of work to the audience.
Thank you very much, Sissy, and thank you all of you watching this. My name is Kirsten Meyer. I am responsible for the unit for Interreg and also for EU communication, so communication of the EU funds especially. And I guess, the field I'm working most in is Interreg A at the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Kirsten. And as one of our leaders within the ministry, why do you think stakeholder participation plays such an important role within the work of our ministry?
Yeah, well, I guess as the Ministry for Regional Development, our main goal is to improve living conditions, working conditions in all of our four Lower Saxon regions. And I guess one very important part of it is EU funding, because we are doing most of regional development projects with EU funding. And so it's very important to ensure the efficient use of EU funding. And I guess this is important under two aspects. On the one hand, people designing directives and designing EU funding programs, and especially EU funding programs, should always ask themselves two questions. On the one hand, what is needed? And on the other hand, who knows best what is needed? Yeah, and is it really me as the designer of the directive? And I guess one very, very simple way to make sure, or to improve your work and your program is to talk to your stakeholders about what do they need and how do they need it and how do they need funding, because you want them to apply for your directive. And we all know certain directives which are very good there on the paper if you read them, but no one is applying for them, and the money is lying there and is not used. And this can have different reasons. On the one hand, it might be too complicated to apply for it. On the one and on the other hand, it might be that those who are entitled to apply, it's just not really what they need. And even worse, there can be a certain group which you just forgot and who would need the money, but who are not entitled to apply. And these are all mistakes you can avoid if you talk to your stakeholders before and design the directive. Yeah, this is one aspect, I guess. And the other aspect is because of our very special portfolio, combining regional development and European affairs. We also feel a certain responsibility to explain people in Lower Saxony the EU, what it does, and all the good things it does for them, and why it is important for us to be a part of the European Union. So we see our role as a kind of transmission belt, working in both directions. On the one hand, transmitting regional interests of all our four regions to the EU and to European institutions. And on the other hand, also explaining regional consequences of EU decisions to our citizens. And of course, we want to make sure that they all know that that EU money is working good in Germany, working well, doing good things, and especially for them. And EU is always seen, or most people see EU as something very abstract, very far away. And it's very important to make sure that they get like good examples to see that the EU is really doing something good for them. And good examples to us mean good projects, which seek solutions for problems they've got every day. Like mobility or transport in rural areas, because this is something which they fear, or they feel that's lacking something in their everyday life. So it's very important to go there and show them that there are projects and they are funded by the EU, and this is why there might be a solution.
Thank you, Kirsten, and thank you for highlighting the incentives behind our focus on stakeholder participation. I think it is very important and nice that you showed us that our ministry is working in both directions, that we, on the one hand, really want to design different measures and projects that are really catering to the different needs of the stakeholders, and on the other hand, that we really try to communicate with stakeholders in order to make sure they understand what the work of the EU is. So in your viewpoint, what were the motives of our ministry to participate in the Interreg Europe project dialogue, which is quite unique as well, I would say?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess there are also two points I'd like to emphasize. On the one hand, yeah, you sometimes you need to take the time to reflect what you're doing, and time to improve your strategies. And I guess this project dialogue and having someone like you who's responsible for it, making sure everyone is reflecting that task. And I guess this is why it's important to take your time to be part of such a project. And on the other hand, of course, yeah, you get new partners you're talking to, and like an international exchange, seeing how they are solving their problems. And this is also something very unique about Interreg, and this is why we took part in the dialogue project.
Okay, thank you, Kirsten, for explaining again the important role of dialogue within our ministry. Thank you for participating in this interview. And I do really believe that despite the difficult circumstances we all are facing today due to COVID, we can really look forward to the incentives the project will set in our work. And especially when it comes to stakeholder participation, that plays, as you have already said, such an important role in our ministry. So thank you, Kirsten, again, and thank you to the listeners to taking the time to hearing our voices.